I'll start this lesson with a discussion on why we need to build prompts, keeping in mind the model-specific prompt guidelines. I'll introduce you to the LangChain conditional prompt selector class and then show you how to use it. Each model is trained with different datasets and training prompts. The net result is that same prompt may lead to different results with different models. Now, each LLM has its own unique set of tags and formats that, when used, lead to better performance of the model. As a result, you can achieve better performance from the model by following the model provider's guidance on prompt creation for their specific model. It is recommended that you always check the model's documentation for guidance on prompt creation. Let me give you an example of model-specific guidance for prompts. This is an example guidance for summarization tasks for Anthropic Claude 2 and Google Gemini models. Anthropic Claude performs better if you specify the role, instructions, and text to be summarized in a formatted fashion, whereas Gemini doesn't suggest use of tags or specific format. You can pass the instructions in a free-flowing text format. Here's an example of the tag and format specific instructions. This is for Llama 2. This documentation is available on Hugging Face, and there is a suggestion to include specific tokens in the prompt, and it also provides guidance on removal of white spaces and use of new lines. So idea is that before you start to write your prompt for any specific model, check the model documentation for guidance, tips, and tricks. The bottom line is that a GenAI application's performance is not only dependent on the model in use, but also on the prompt's alignment with model's prompt tuning guidelines. So there is an interesting implication of this fact, and that is that if you switch the model without changing the prompt, the application's performance may be impacted. So always test and adjust your prompt when you are switching the underlying model. And LangChain can help in building apps that address this challenge. Conditional Prompt Selector is a LangChain utility class that allows you to specify model-specific prompt templates for the same task. Prompt template is selected at runtime based on the model that is getting used for the inference. Now, this makes it easy to switch between multiple models, and it also makes the code portable from the model perspective. To create a prompt selector, you need to provide the default prompt and a list of tuples as conditions. The first element in the tuple is a callable, that is a function that takes instance of LLM as a parameter. If the call to the function results in true, then prompt specific to that model is returned. The function getPrompt is used for getting the model specific template. Don't worry if it is not clear yet, it'll become clear once we will go through the code. The code that I'll walk you through is available under the LangChain folder. Think of a scenario in which two models were tested for summarization task. We have decided to keep both the models in 1-on-1 ratio. That is, each model will process 50% of the summarization requests coming to the application. We will track the model's performance in production and may switch to one of the models based on results. After we experimented, we found that each model performed better with a prompt that was built with their specific prompt guidance. Our goal is to keep our code model agnostic, and we should be able to switch between models without any impact on performance. Let's check out how we can do it with the conditional prompt selector class. You may also try out this notebook in Google Colab. The link is available in the page Prompt Templates under the LangChain section in the course guide. Here I'm importing the conditional prompt selector. This is the default prompt that will be used in case the model specific prompt is not available in the conditional prompt selector. I've created the default prompt template. Now let's assume that we played with multiple prompts and found that this particular prompt format worked out well for the AI-21 models. Here is the prompt template for the AI-21 models. Since we need the LLM for defining the conditions, what I'm doing here is I'm creating the LLM for AI21. Since we won't be running the actual inferences, I'm just passing a dummy key. Now let's assume that this prompt format worked out well for the Cohere command models. So we will create a template for the Cohere command model. And then similar to AI21, we need to create the LLM for the Cohere command model. Again, I'm using a dummy key as we will not be carrying out inferences. To create the conditional prompt, we specify the default prompt and then we provide the conditional tuples. Within each tuple, the first element is a callable. Think of it as a function, wherein we are checking the type of the LLM model that is getting passed. If there is a match, then the model specific template gets returned. So here I have specified the AI21 prompt template and the Cohere prompt template. And then we carry out the testing. Let me just quickly run through all of these steps so that I can show it to you in action. To test, I'm setting the LLM equal to AI21 underscore LLM and then calling the get prompt on the conditional prompt selector with the LLM. So we receive the AI21 prompt. And similarly, if I set the LLM equal to Cohere LLM and I run this, I get the Cohere prompt that I can use for the call. After this, we can do LLM.invoke and use the appropriate prompt. So this is how you would use the conditional prompt selector. Let's go over the key points from this lesson. As a best practice, always follow prompt creation guidelines for the model. If you're planning to switch between models for the same task, build the model-specific prompt templates and use the LangChain conditional prompt selector class. Happy learning, and I'll see you in the next video.